For everyone who asked how I made my cute beaded bikini, here's a tutorial on how you can make your own from scratch. You're going to start with some spandex fabric, and you're going to take either a pattern or an existing bikini you have and trace out the shape you need for one of the sides. The top I used is already a little bit too big, and so I don't need to add seam allowance, but make sure to add about a 1/2 inch of seam allowance or whatever your pattern calls for. The lines I'm making here are a guide that I do not want to bead outside of so that we can actually sew these pieces at the end. Now we're not actually going to cut the piece out until we're done beading because we do need the excess fabric in order to put it on the embroidery hoop. I do already have a video on my page that goes over all the supplies you'll need, and I also have all of it linked in my Amazon storefront in my bio as well. Right here I'm just using that water erasable marker in order to trace out the design of my first design, which is this little fish. I'm going to use these glass tube beads to do the outline of the fish first, and then we'll work our way and fill it in. That tends to be the best way to do most of the design. Starting at any point along the outline, just thread your needle from the underside to the top, then take about 5 or so beads and thread them through the needle. Place them along the outline and then thread your needle back through the point where the beads end. Now obviously the beads aren't going to curve with your design, and so you're going to bring your needle up from the underside along your outline and take the thread over and in between a set of beads and thread it back through. This will shape the line of beads, but it'll also secure it so that they're not loose. In order to have the next strand of beads look continuous with the first, I bring the needle up from under the last bead and then thread it through the bead. Now you can just continue to do that same thing all around the outline of your design. Once you finish the outline, you can choose however you want to fill the design. For this one, I'm choosing sequins because I do think sequins look the most like fish scales. I sew them one at a time, all facing the same direction, and just kind of fill in all the open space. For the tail, I'm just using different colors of tube beads and filling it in with little stripes. I do this same method with all the different designs. However, if you want a tutorial on any of the other specific designs, let me know in the comments. Come back for part 2 and we'll do a tutorial on how to actually sew and assemble the bikini.